So to kick this video off, I'll go in with a number 2 guard completely closed on my gold FX is cutting with the grain, getting everything down to one desired length. As you guys can see, my client has an amazing grade of hair. One thing that you guys don't know, my client was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, and her shake back has been insane. As you guys can see, she has flawless connections, an amazing crown, and an amazing pattern. So today was like one of her first haircuts, and one of her first haircuts with waves. She started waving in January when watching one of my videos, prepping to come through in May with it like this for me. And I just can't say that I appreciate you more, because that's the only thing I can say. This is so dope. So I had to get this footage for YouTube, and I just appreciate it. So if you guys can stick around for this 15-minute video, I promise y'all gonna be more than happy with the ending. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get alerted. I won't stop. I'm in a whole different bag. Y'all know what time it is. It's 2019. It's Year of the Creators, and our foot is not coming off that gas. It's about positive vibes. It's about kicking it. It's about networking with those that are doing the same thing that we doing, and it's about staying influenced and staying a student to the game. When you are and you remain a student to the game, it's impossible. It's impossible to stop learning. Like, it's impossible. Remain a student to the game, and it's always gonna fall in your favor. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you gotta learn things in these industries, because in this industry, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of things that go untalked about, and sometimes one of them would be like a professional decision, making a professional decision. And that's one thing that I like about this video. I could be as transparent as possible. When doing a new technique to the waves, I almost destroyed my haircut, or destroyed the essence of a good haircut, by adding a product to her hair that I shouldn't have added. But when that part come up, we'll get there. So working the crown, I'm using the tip of my number 2 guard, and I'm really just brushing her hair in the pattern that her crown goes. And as you guys can see, you got to keep everything consistent. And even at times, if that guard can't snatch that hair, take the guard off and freehand it. You want to be able to grab every hair. You want this hair to be as laid as possible, and you want to be set up for kill shots. You want to be set up for the taper. You want to be set up for the lining. That is so important. If you don't set yourself up for the next best thing, you'll make your job 10 times harder. Always brush one and fade one, and as you guys can see, we almost got this desired length, and her connections are just ridiculous. Then I go in with a 1/8 guard, which is a number 1 guard for the gold FXs, and I'm cutting with the grain. I have the clipper halfway open just so I can debulk the bottom of the nape area, setting myself up for a dope taper and a dope transition. Then I go in with my Andis T outliners, and I start to ball out the bottom of that, maybe about a 1/2 inch, because I got enough neck room to work with. And with that being said, I'm finna set myself up for the kill shot. That's what we doing. We making the job easier, not harder. We're making things correlate and go into each other. So I go in with a 1/8 guard completely open, and this is what's really gonna bring that taper together. Cause once I'm able to debulk with this completely open, it's gonna open me up to be able to fade from 0 to open. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Germ Bowman, because this beat is ridiculous. Then I go in completely open with my gold FXs, and I'm going up about another 1/2 inch, setting myself up for this transition. Then I go halfway right here, And I'm just slowly but surely softening up the transition, and then I go completely closed right here towards the bottom of it. Slight flicks, never digging into the hair. You don't want to push the guidelines. Then a 1/16 guard, and it's completely closed, and I'm going to slowly but surely open it between the first notch or two. And if you don't know what a notch is, the Andis Masters have the notches on the side of the fade lever. So I'm going to be using between my first and my second notch. And that's why you guys see me kind of fading at an angle opposed to going straight across, because I'm slowly but surely just knocking each hair out, creating my transition for me. And this is another reason why I like my Andis Masters. In terms of fading with my guards, I can be so much more loose with this clipper. Like, I just feel like I could do a whole fade from 0 to the hair with just a 1/16 guard. It's all about how you tilt your clippers, and you can do the same thing with the Gold FXs. It's just me personally, I'm comfortabler with the Masters doing that. Comfortabler is not even a word, but more comfortable with the Masters. And as you guys can see, we're just cleaning up towards the bottom of that hair, getting everything to transition and correlate well. And as you guys can see, this is fire. And she's so icy. And as you guys can see, that transition is there. We there. We are basically there. Like, this is it. We just doing slight cleanup work. Then I go in using some mousse, and this is where I kind of overdid my part as a barber. But this is just a part that, you know, we learn. Due to this hair texture right here specifically does not work well with mousse. And I don't even want to say it doesn't work well with mousse, because I felt like I could have put this mousse or wrapping lotion in her hair, tied a do-rag on without brushing it in, and got a better look than if I would have ever brushed it in. And I feel like me brushing it in is what kind of frizz the hair up. So as you guys finna see in the next clip or two, the hair is gonna have like a frizz effect to it that kind of throw the waves off. And that was just an unprofessional opinion for me. Just me normally doing the mousse thing, because it's been prom weekend, so I was influenced to do the mousse on this haircut, and it kind of attacked my wave pattern. But we gonna shake back, because once I throw a do-rag on her, we gonna lay everything down, we gonna compress it, and we gonna put some heat to it, and then the wave's gonna pop right back out. And that was the save, because when I put the mousse in there, I got so discouraged in terms of the waves, because I wanted this hair to lay perfect. But in certain instances, you don't need mousse. I feel like you need mousse more with coarse hair wavers. So right here, I'm just treating the side just like the back. I went in with a 1/8 guard, completely open, debulking. Then I go in open with my Gold FXs, and I'm basically setting myself up for a slight low ball taper. She want a low ball taper in a super soft front line, so this gonna be a different one. I'm not doing no color on this haircut. I'm gonna do a nice natural line up, and I'm gonna do it very natural and very soft in the front. And then I go in with my Andis T outliners, using the tip of my blade just to help me get the curve or that Chicago C. And because the hair is blonde, don't ever get discouraged. A lot of times when people can't see the hard ash white lines or just a hard line, they get discouraged because that lineup don't look like it's there. Those hairs are light, this hair is bleached. So you got to understand and know, take your time. As you guys can see, I'm even moving slower on this line, and just so I can watch my line develop. It's not even that it's harder to cut women hair. You just want to be way more light-handed with everything. You want everything to naturally come, because when it does that, the hair falls right into place, opposed to forcing it to do things that it wouldn't normally do. Like a lot of guys with wave haircuts drop fades. You really cutting a lot of waves out at times because you forcing that fade on that haircut. But this one, I didn't force the taper, I didn't force the liner. Everything was just natural and clean. I just kept everything consistent and just doing tad bit cleanup work over the top and repeating the same steps over here, working on my Chicago C, starting from the bottom to the top. Keeping everything consistent. And shout out to everybody out there that's noticing the gloves. We always wear gloves. I really don't even like touching people face bare hands, so I always go in with gloves for those out there. And also I like to prevent hair splinters as well. So I went in with the Barber Magic pencil and I basically outlined the lineup, then went in with my Andis T outliners and just re-cleaned that up. And then you guys can see how the Chicago C really pop out now when I added the pencil. Natural lining or no natural lining, it's about consistency, it's about measurements, it's about symmetry, it's about going to a place that we've never been or going to a place that we visit, you know, rarely. And the reason that it's a rare case is because we have a rare case of waves right here. I got a female waver for the first time. I've yet to have a female waver, so I want to give a shout out to Miss Ebony again for coming through and giving me an amazing shot, you know, at just doing what I like to do best. So I laid a do-rag on it because I wasn't comfortable with how the hair looked and how it looked frizzed. So I laid a do-rag on it, blow dried it, and then I'm gonna take this off. And as you guys can see, they back in there. And then we just gotta clean up over the waves and get it right back together. So at times, guys, like, don't overplay your part. That's what was big in this video. Don't overplay your part as a barber. If you don't need it, then don't use it. And that's just what happened with the mousse. It's an amazing product, but to use mousse on a straight hair waver like this isn't gonna do nothing but add frizz and gonna make that hair curl opposed to wave. Just keep everything consistent. Remember, like, you can always shake back, and shaking back is a part of the game. When you see that you messed up or potentially messed up, it's up to you to change that outcome. And I want everybody in the world, or any barber that's standing behind the chair, to start taking these shots. Y'all gotta understand that if you don't take these shots, then you don't know. And one thing that I learned just about being a barber is you gotta do things, whether if it's a good or a bad. And I did it because it worked the majority of the time on everybody else, not meaning that it was gonna work on this client specifically, but we bounced back, and that's what's most important. And bouncing back is always important, and never giving up is what's important. The average person would have never knew that I felt that I messed up in this video, but that's transparency, and that's keeping everything transparent with you guys, because you guys grow with me, and we all seen my evolution over the last few years and where it's come to. So I want to show y'all that quote unquote master barbers can mess up as well. So I go in with my Andis T outliners just in the front, giving it a hard line. And as you guys can see, I'm curving towards the end of my blade in her box area where the vertical bars will meet the front of the liner. And I'm doing it very softly and not harshly, so it stands out crazy. But she just really want the forehead to be cleaned up. So honestly, it's just really like I'm doing a natural clean look on the forehead opposed to giving her a hairliner. And as you can see, we already getting a smile through the mirror because she could see it. Like, that's important right here. I love this. This was one of my favorite clients that I didn't mind watching a haircut, because she's watched from when we added the mousse to when we had to shake it back, and that was the objective, was to get it right back. So I want you guys to see from the client herself. When you guys get the nod, it ain't even about what go on in the shop. It ain't about what you think. If the client is satisfied, then the client is satisfied, and she's satisfied. Let's get it. Y'all know what time it is. Hashtag TBT. It's the Beam Team. Let's get this money, strap in, lock in. It's the year 2019, year the creators. We won't be stopped by nobody, and we not seeking validation from nobody but ourselves and our clients and our brothers. Remember that. Like, don't seek validation from nobody else in the world besides your client. When it's you and it's you behind that chair, This you and your client world. You don't need to seek validation for nobody, and that's just important. I want you guys to break outside of that shell and understand that creativity is big, whether it hit or miss. You gotta try things, you gotta do things. Again, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell to get alerted when new videos come out. I won't stop. The pressure in the air. 2019, let's get this money.